Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It is Saturday, September 18th. September 18th. It is amazing that it's already the middle of September. It's absolutely a beautiful time of the year. We are so excited you guys have taken an hour out of your morning today to join us. My name is Scott Buckholz. We also have Yas Hawk on as well. We host these property tours every Saturday. We love to bring out one of our community investors, as we are a national community of investors. We collaborate with each other, we work with each other, we learn together, and we do deals together. And today we're actually bringing out Anton and Mary Brooks from Manassas, Virginia. They're going to be sharing their short-term rental strategy and what they're doing. We'll get to learn a little bit about their story, how they found our nationwide community of investors, and just how they got plugged in, and tell us a little bit about themselves. Again, my name is Scott Buckholz. We do these every Saturday. And like I said, every week we come to you from a different location, a different city and state. And we're always showing you a different strategy. Sometimes it's new construction. Sometimes it's a fix and flip. Sometimes it's a fix and hold or a buy and hold, short-term rental. It can be a lot of different strategies that are out there that we're doing. So again, if we could, a little housekeeping, let's keep everybody on mute today. That will definitely help with all the background noise. I've been a full-time real estate investor been a part of this community for about 5.5 years now. And I've been doing full-time real estate for about 3.5 years. I do real estate in Kentucky, Ohio, and Kansas. Yes, I live in Kentucky. Ohio is right across the Ohio River, Cincinnati. So I do deals in both Kentucky and Ohio, but I also do and have a partnership with several community members out in Kansas, where we are adding to our portfolio of rental properties. So without further ado, I'd love to bring out Mary and Anton. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. If you want to pop on your screen, or if you want me to keep this slide up for a little bit as you introduce yourselves, why don't you tell us?
I lost you there, Scott.
Hey, Scott, you're muted.
Well, I got muted somehow. Are you guys good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I got thrown in mute jail. Gaz, did you stick me in mute? No, I'm just kidding you. No. Tell us, we'll have a lot of people on today, maybe for the first time.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to know, a little bit. They're trying to figure out, this community of investors. Someone has thought enough of them. They've invited them out. We might have folks on here that are part of our community, but maybe it's the first time they've joined us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and I'll turn the mic over to you.
Yeah. We are Anton and Mary Brooks, and we got started back in 2018. We were introduced to the community by Keith and LaFay Jones. Our kids were playing hockey together, and they invited us to come see what the community was about. And we ultimately joined the community, a community here in Northern Virginia, which is run by Umair and Yaz, which is just, to me, I may be a little biased, but I think it's the best community in the country. They are super, super helpful, and they've helped us every step of the way in growing our real estate business. So currently we are focusing on short-term rentals, and we have done flips also. And we are going to be doing new construction and long-term rentals starting next year. So it's been a growing process, but we love it. And we just feel like it's the best way for us to grow our income and our future, not only for us, but for our kids and for the rest of our family.
So Anton, what's a little bit of your background? What have you done in the past?
So here's the truth. Before about 2007, when the market, real estate market, as we know, crashed in 2007, 2008, we tried to do real estate on our own, and we failed miserably. We didn't have any community, we didn't have any resources or education, and we just did not know what we were doing. But when we joined this community, we really took off immediately. We got into our first deal our first flip just right after we started our education, and we've just been moving forward since.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I'm going to let you take over your screen here.
All
Tell
right.
us tell us a little bit about how you got into the short-term rental strategy, and I'll let you go ahead and share your screen if you could.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
All right. Yeah, so we got into short-term rentals because when we were doing flips, it was something, I heard someone, Jay and Poppy echo this, but when we got into the business and we were doing flips, it was something that I was primarily running with in reference to Mary and I. But when the class for short-term rentals was brought into the community, we took it and we realized that it was something that we could really do together. Mary really is the, how can I put it? She is the person who was behind all of the designs, and she comes up with the concepts. And in reference to short-term rentals, I run more of the administrative side, but this is something that she really takes the lead on, and we truly partner on the two sides of the business on how to make it work. I do help her with designs, and she does definitely help me with administration, but she really has the vision. And we just wanted to create something that was extremely customer service driven, that would satisfy a need in our area.
That's awesome. That's great. I see you have your slide pulled up.
Yes.
A lot of times people, and I'm sure you guys are just like I am, and just like most people that are on here that are already doing real estate investing. We talk about what we do every day. We meet people, we share with what we do because we love what we do. And one of the comments, I hear a couple comments on a regular basis. One, I hear, well,
I think I lost you again, Scott.
how about now? I keep getting muted. Someone's hitting the mute button, and I guess it's muting me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, Anton. Um, that's always funny. I said, and I don't know where you didn't get me at, or where I cut out, is I talk to people every day of my life, and I share what I do. It's just a natural thing that I do. Like anytime you love something that you're doing, you share that, right? And I hear a couple comments on a regular basis. One of them is, I don't know how to get started. And two, I have no money, no credit, so I can't do real estate. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, so when we started, when Keith and LaFay invited us, we were under the same impression. We didn't know how we were going to get started. We didn't know how it would be possible to do deals. But the community, including Keith and LaFay and Umair and Yaz, really helped us to find partners, and use our equity. So even though we didn't have enough necessarily finances to do our own deals when we initially started, we did have an equity, which is something that we learned about, which is time. We had time and knowledge that we were able to use to partner up. So there were people who wanted to do deals who didn't have time, and we were able to step in and fulfill that need and be a part of deals initially until we had enough income to start doing things on our own. And we still, especially with flips and some of the other things, we still want to partner with people and continue, but now we don't necessarily have to when we're doing deals.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So do you want to take us through some of the pictures here and show us this beautiful short-term rental?
Yeah, let's roll. Again, my wife, Mary, who unfortunately is not on right now, she has something to take care of, but she's the one who comes up with our designs. And let's see if I can get this thing to move forward. There we go. That's my beautiful wife, Mary. And she comes up with the designs, and she really leads the way on how we're going to structure the short-term rentals. Just a little bit of notes about how we run our short-term rentals. We are not on Airbnb. We started off on Airbnb at the beginning of 2020, but now we are strictly a direct book site. And we also do 30-day rentals is our shortest term. So we do 30-day plus. There's one exception to that. If we happen to have a gap or orphan days like in between people, we will try and book that time, even if it's for a week or so in between, because we want to make sure that our rooms stay filled. But typically we do 30 days or more. What we strive to do is we want our guests to feel like family. So from the time they call or to the time after they leave, we are very attentive to their needs. We treat each caller as if they're important. We believe in the extra niceties, the things that we put into the rooms or to the suites that are different, that make our place different, that make our place that make people want to come back to the things that we create. So we've been very successful in that. We strive for a clean, comfortable, safe, and affordable experience for our customers, and just being thoughtful in our designs, again, which is Mary. So I'm going to show you some pictures here. This first one is the master bedroom. And so again, we want everything to be clean, aesthetically pleasing, comfortable. So we do try to take note of the things that we like when we travel, and then even try to go beyond that. In this particular room, something that we've never done before, we actually added the desk over as one of the nightstands. We actually tried this at home and it worked really well. So we decided to, or I say Mary decided to incorporate that into the room just to save some space, because we want everything to feel open and airy. So we don't want, we want to keep everything as uncluttered as possible. We always have clean linens, clean towels offered to all of our clients, as we like to call them. We find out things about them as we are talking to them on the phone, and when we can, we try and incorporate those things into the room. We've even had pictures, sometimes like a picture of a person's family waiting for them because they were going to be out of town for a long period of time, just little things like that. We try to also incorporate a lot of things that will make it feel like home. The picture in the middle is the walk-in closet. So we add umbrellas, we add covered velvet covered hangers, and the reason why that is just so that people's clothes don't slide off. We definitely offer extra blankets and extra cozy comforters and stuff like that for our guests. Clothes hampers, luggage racks, and of course you can see the towels and everything on the screen. Also things like to help, most people want to maintain a clean environment, but we do have vacuum cleaners and brooms and all those kinds of things for people when they come into the room.
This is absolutely beautiful, man. This is, look at all the accessories and the different things you guys have thought of. So talk a little bit about how you found the location, because a lot of people, again, they get really tied down with, oh, I don't have the capital to acquire a property, that type of thing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of the things that we learned in our community is that, when you're doing your first units, if you're doing short-term rentals, is that you want to find locations that are within a reasonable distance, typically 10 to 20 minutes from your living location, so that you can be attentive to your clients until a time you can afford to have people who are runners and take care of those things for you. But what we did was we didn't have initially the capital to buy our own homes to do short-term rentals. So what we do is one of the strategies that we've learned in the community, which is we lease from apartment buildings as a corporation, a corporate lease, and then we run our short-term rentals out of those apartment buildings, all on the up and up. When there's nothing that we're doing that the apartment buildings don't know about, we let them know who's in their apartments, and we just build out these suites, which is something that has worked for us and that we're continuing to grow. We'll have another one actually coming in October. So hopefully we'll be able to share that one with you guys also.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Let me throw something in real quick, if I could too, Anton, if you don't mind. So as you guys, as we got everybody on today, and we're from all over the country on here. I saw states from the West Coast to the East Coast to down south, which is awesome. I just want to let everybody know, if you were not aware of this, if you really like and want to learn more about our community, about what Anton and myself are talking about today during this hour featured presentation of this short-term rental. Right after this, at noon Eastern, there is what we call a business introduction that you guys, if you would like to, you can jump on. It's a different link. So got back to whoever invited you, and they can get you set up and get you a link. And you can learn more about a lot of the stuff that Anton is talking about, what I'm talking about, learn more about our national community of investors, and just kind of check things out more and learn more in depth. So that does start at noon Eastern. I did want to mention that, Anton, continue on. These pictures are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, there's a, we found a great photographer and videographer who helped us out with all this here in Northern Virginia. I do want to point out one of the things that Mary does when she creates a design is that she comes up with a concept. And this particular concept, hexagons, and which led to beehive, was the concept. And then she'll use that to build out her design. So everywhere in every one of these pictures, you're probably going to see, like here, you'll see the bees here, and on here and over here underneath the clock. So that the pattern and that the flow of the design will flow from room to room. And see what we got here. Also, so we really stock all of our rooms so that when people come, all they need to do is bring their luggage. We talk to the customers and trying to find out what they need. And if there's something that they need that is reasonable that we don't have, we try to incorporate that into that design or into that room. So all the appliances, all your cooking appliances, all your cookware, all your dishes and forks and knives will be in the room for you. Everything from your pots and pans, starter, washer, and laundry detergent, starter, hand soaps, and just everything you can think of. Because we really want it to be like home. We want people to be able to get acclimated into their environment and have time to get the things that they need that are outside of what we offer. Because most of the people who book our rooms stay anywhere from 2 to 6 months.
Now, I've heard you say rooms. Is this a multi-unit?
Well, we call them, I say rooms, but it's really a suite. It's a 1-bedroom apartment with, and all the apartments have a king size bed and either a queen or a full sleeper. So they accommodate 4.
Very nice. Yeah, absolutely love the pictures. You've already thrown out several great golden nuggets. I know when you're doing a fix and flip, as you've done fix and flips.
Yeah.
A professional photographer is everything. Not trying to take pictures with your tablet or your iPhone. Using a professional photographer is a make or break type thing. That first impression with social media in today's society, and everybody's on the run and nobody has time. I read a really interesting statistic the other day that like 99% of the people who are looking to buy a home will look at the pictures of the property online before they even make a decision to see if they have interest in it. So it's the same, obviously, with short-term rentals. If they don't like the looks of what they're going to stay in this case, you try to do over 30-day bookings, they're never even going to consider you, right?
Correct. Yeah. We really consider the pictures as the strongest point of marketing. Because it's the first thing that people see. We can talk all day about what we offer and what we do, but if we don't have clean, fresh pictures and marketing material for people to see, then that will stop us dead in our tracks and being able to book these suites.
Absolutely. Now, do you use multiple platforms or just one platform for short terms?
Yeah, we use multiple platforms. We use, like I said, since we don't use Airbnb or any of the major networks, there's multiple reasons for that. But we use a lot of social media, a lot of just word on the street, because a lot of people who have stayed with us have offered our services or told people about our services. And even the complexes sometimes that we're in will recommend, we'll send people to us. So one of the things that we did was we go to the apartment complexes and we find out what their shortest lease term is. So if, for example, if they say, well, our shortest lease term is 6 months. So we'll ask them that, hey, if somebody comes in and they need a place for 3 months or anything less than 6 months, can you send them to us? And they do. So that is one of the strategies that we use. And we have booked several people who have come directly from the apartment complex, who are literally in the apartment complex leasing office and will call us from that location because they need something for whatever reason, whether it's they're moving for work, or they've just closed on a house and they're waiting to go to, or they just purchased a house and they're waiting to go to closing. But there's a lot of different reasons and a lot of different resources that can be used. And just one last thing about that, one of the major reasons that we've decided to just stick with only being a direct book site is we can offer our clients a better price, because Airbnb and these other channels, they're a business and they take a large percentage of the booking. And so we can really come in under just by doing it ourselves. You there, Scott?
Yep, sorry about that.
No problem.
Yes, that's incredible. So did you sign? See, there is a mindset out there that, Anton, when I talk to people about using this strategy of not acquiring the property, keeping your capital expense minimal, and actually signing a lease, a lot of people say, oh, no landlord will ever let you do that. Talk a little bit about how you learn how to have that conversation, and how what kind of verbiage you have in the lease, maybe. Now, don't get too detailed because we're not too long. We don't have that much of how you have that conversation. How did you learn how to have a conversation with a property management company or a landlord about allowing you to use their property for this type of strategy?
Yeah, so again, the community, they have courses on several different strategies of real estate. And one of the strategies they have, of course, is short-term rentals. And they have courses. And in the courses, they gave us everything that we needed, including the exact dialogue or a template that you can use that you memorize and that you can use to approach the apartment buildings or even a private property owner, in reference to how you explain what you're doing so that they don't immediately just say no. And also one of the key things is I think when you are talking to an apartment building is to find out, first question is, do they accept corporate leases? Where we live, in the DC metropolitan area, which includes Maryland, Virginia, and DC, almost all apartment buildings have corporate leases. So that's the first question. Once we know that they have corporate leases, then we continue the conversation to find out what rules that they have that may not work for us. Like, we want to be able to put up security cameras. We need to be able to put up digital entrance, so that keyless entry, so that people can enter the room at whenever they arrive and not have to wait on somebody to bring them a key or something like that. So we need to know these things up front before we even look at a room, or we don't want to waste our time. So Mary and I have talked to realistically about 50 complexes in the last year and a half. We actually have a meeting today at 1:45 at another one for the one that we're doing in October. So we're just trying to decide where we're going to put this one that we're doing in October, and just have that conversation that you're talking about.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I know we're going to get into the numbers a little bit here. We definitely want to take any questions. Let's see. What is one of the reasons for not using Airbnb? Is it to cut your expenses? Why not the Airbnb platform?
Yeah, so there's multiple reasons. So definitely cut the expenses for the client. So it makes it easier for us to make our number that we're trying to reach. So we don't have to charge as much. So it makes us easier to meet our number. Also, Airbnb has a lot of control. For example, when COVID started, a lot of people in the community had an issue with Airbnb determining how they're going to run their business, or even if they could run their business, if they were even allowed to offer rooms at any particular time, and how they were going to manage their refunds. Because during the time when COVID first started and travel bans happened, a lot of people had to cancel. And we wanted to be able to, for example, instead of just automatically doing a refund, we wanted to be able to offer a credit for a future stay. And being on Airbnb, a lot of people weren't allowed to do that. And we just wanted to be able to have control over our business.
Awesome. Excellent. Excellent. That's very good. So again, we have a lot of people on today that have never seen one of our property tours. Maybe they've never gone to one of our workshops. They've never been to, anything about our community.
I think I lost you again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Not sure how I keep getting muted, but it's okay. Thank you for letting me know, though, Anton. There's nothing worse than talking for 5 minutes and nobody hears you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, again, so I kind of lost my train of thought there. Again, there's folks on today that have never, seen any of our events or been to a property tour or been to any of our great real estate workshops, either in person or online. How did you kind of, like you said, you back in 07, I think you said 07, 08, you tried to do real estate and kind of bombed on it. It kind of didn't work out for you. Obviously you didn't give up. You got right back on the saddle and you got going again on it. What was the thing that really got you, you and Mary, both of you, fired up and excited to check our national community investors out and get started, get involved?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, Keith and LaFay Jones, who are a part of the Northern Virginia community, which is led by Umair and Yaz, they introduced us. And because we knew them through hockey, and they were able to show us some of the things that they were doing. And then as we started to get more into the community and we met other people who were literally doing deals, this wasn't like something that you see on TV. Somebody may come to town and present some type of education and they're gone. This is a community that is here, that has people in the group who are investors, who have people who invest in projects, people who are doing projects, and people who do a little of both. And we were able to people doing projects. And I tell you, the biggest thing is when I was able to go to, because this was before COVID, so we went to several property tours of people in our local group who were doing flips. And these flips were 2 miles from my house, 2-3 miles from my house, right in my own neighborhood where people were doing flips. And I was like, okay, well, this is something that is real. These are real people who live in my community, who are actually successful and doing deals. And the reason why they were successful is because of leadership of Umair and Yaz and people like the Joneses who helped us get started. So it really was just a community thing that made it, that really sold us on it. And I wouldn't go back and do anything else. This is the perfect thing for our family. My son, who's 18, is now also getting involved. He just graduated from high school this year, and he's also getting involved as a way to pay for school.
That's incredible. I love hearing stories like that. You can never start your children, getting involved in business or entrepreneurship too early. And, it'll be interesting to see the path he takes, because, 2 or 3 years from now, he might have his own.
Yeah.
So, I see you smiling. Yeah. So little competition wouldn't hurt anything, right?
That's right. Hey, I hope he takes over. Hope him and the other people to take over.
There you go. So we're about 11:32. We've only had a couple questions come in. Everybody is complimenting how beautiful your place is.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they love the color schemes and the theme that Mary picked out, and obviously excited to see what October's property looks like. You want to maybe share a little bit about the numbers. Everybody's always excited about
Oh,
numbers.
definitely.
And
Yeah, definitely. There was
you
one
want,
other little thing I wanted to say about the special touches. I truly believe, in reference to photography and just the little special touches that are in the room, to us, these little things may not seem like much, but when we have a theme and when a client walks into our room, they almost always text us. Like, we just had somebody book this room. So this room right now is booked. And the first thing they did was they walked in and they said they just love it. And they felt like it's a warm, inviting place. These little special touches, the soaps and the things like you would find in a nice hotel, and just the decor that carries the theme out really, I believe, sells the unit to our clients. As far as numbers, so I just want to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you just, the way your body language there, you started crossing your hands when you got to numbers. Go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the things that we do is we've learned now how to design and completely furnish a room for a really good price, which I'm going to show you soon. Way under what most people are probably decorating the rooms for. One of the reasons is, like, for example, is this dresser right here. Actually, we got 3 dressers for free. And so all we did was, when we got the dresser, we just, Mary ordered some different knobs, and to make it go along with the theme that we have. We didn't have to do anything else other than change the knobs and touch it up. So the 3 dressers combined cost us $75. And this dresser is extremely heavy. It is solid wood. But these types of things really help when we're starting out and we don't necessarily have, all the money that we would like to have when we start a unit. Being creative and doing things that don't cost very much, but still are beautiful and fit into your theme are extremely important. This is another example. These tables and these lamps we also got for free. And what Mary did was, there's a glass cover on here, you can probably see. She just took the glass cover off and she painted the underneath here black. And then she just added an emblem, which is the bee emblem for the hive, so that it would, make it ours and fit into the unit. I believe when we got these tables, this under here was not black, it was like a marble blue, but we wanted to fit the aesthetic. So these tables and these lamps, which would cost, $300-400 combined, cost us $15 for the supplies to paint this black and to paint the emblem right there.
That is so cool. I love that bee. That is awesome.
And so our total budget, we used to start off with a budget of $12,000 when we first started. The total budget for this was $8,000, and we came in just under $7,500, which is important. So when we first started, like I said, our budget was about $12,000. So I'll even use 10,000 as a round number. So if we had $30,000, we could do 3 units at $10,000. But if we do them at 7,500, that's 4 units. So that's an additional income producing unit that we've created by using the same amount of money, by just doing some of the creative things ourselves. We do all of our own electric work, as far as like putting up ceiling fans and putting in what do you call it, the Nest thermostats. We put in all of our own electronics. We hang our own TVs. Everything in here in this unit we do ourselves. And yes, it may take a day longer, but if we can save that, that $2,500 per unit, then that's just an extra unit that we can start to start producing income. And then at some point, once we have enough units, then we won't have to do any of this. Mary will create the design, and then we'll have somebody else go in and execute it, because then our focus will be strictly creating new business and new opportunities for us to create income.
That's awesome. That's great. So how much square foot? You said this is a 1-bedroom suite?
Yeah, so they vary, but typically they're around 750 square feet.
So that's about $100. 750 square feet. I'm sorry, that's about $10
Yeah.
a square foot to build out. That's a really good price.
Yeah, and it helps us
Ooh.
immediately. We're able to book our rooms, like the one that's coming in October. So now we have a strategy that when we start a new unit, we start marketing it. Now that we have something to show, we're able to book units before they're done. So that on day one, we could put somebody in there, start recouping our expenses immediately. And like I said, we're able to do it for a reasonable price. Everything that you see in the room is something that Mary and I either that did ourselves. Mary's parents, though, did come in and help with the shiplap on the walls in the living room. And so we do recruit family members to come in and help us do stuff. But we really put our hands on every single piece in this room. So we just take 3 days or so and knock them out.
Well, it really shows. I'll tell you, it is amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, the brightness, the colors. I mean, I would want, if I'm coming out to Virginia, I'd want to stay there. I mean, it's
You're
just,
welcome.
I appreciate that. I know how to get a hold of you, and who knows, I might be out there. I know there's a big regional event coming up, November in DC. How far are you from DC?
We are about, depending on time of day, it's about 30 minutes west of DC.
That's amazing. Here's a great question here from Anna. Do you have any contracts with any supply companies for toiletries, linens, etc.?
Well, we started off when we were doing shorter stays, when we first started, we would have stays that were, a couple days a week, it was constant in and out. We did that, but currently we do not. We just get stuff from Costco because we start people off with all the supplies that they need. But most of our clients, like the person who's in that unit now, the Hive, they're going to be here until at least January. So, if we realized that when we were buying a lot of these supplies, that we were just sitting on them and having to store them, and especially the food supplies, because we put coffee and creamer and all these things. They were going bad because people were staying so long, and we weren't putting people in the units, one after another. So currently we just do Costco. But if we were on Airbnb, we would be doing. We did have suppliers for our soaps and all those kind of things, but it's not necessary at this time.
Right. So where do you guys, Maya's got a great question here. Where do you guys find all your free furnishings and items for your units?
Yeah. So that's all Mary again. So what she does is she goes to Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and other locations such as that to see what people are selling. Because there were several other items in that unit that were either free or, $100 or, some crazy low price. And sometimes the things are still in boxes. People buy things and they have it in a box in their closet somewhere, and for whatever reason they've never used it, and we'll take it and we'll upcycle it, or upscale it is what we call it, and we'll use it in our unit. So from those 3 dressers we got means that the next 2 units that we're doing, we don't have to buy a dresser. So those types of things, really, really save money.
You bet. How about any additional numbers you'd like to show on revenue, potential revenue, what you guys are cash flowing?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. We don't want to run out of time and not get to that, because that's, that's pretty important. Everybody likes to see those numbers.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't have them on the screen, but I'll definitely talk about it. So, like, for example, for this particular unit, the expenses, all in expenses, including rent, electric, because we offer Netflix, Disney Channel, and YouTube streaming, all of our services, such as the noise aware or insurance, even all those things combined, our expenses are about $1,800. We are leasing this particular unit at $2,800 currently. So after all expenses, the take home is $1,000 on this unit, which is about typical. Sometimes it's anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a month per unit.
So your $1,800 now, since you're not using Airbnb, when you charge 2,800, do your clients, as you refer to them, is that just a set fee? Do they have to add on top of that for cleaning? Like Airbnb charges a cleaning fee, they charge different fees, or is 2,800 all inclusive?
Yeah, so we've gone with an all-inclusive because it makes it easier for the client. It's because our clients are staying long-term typically for several months. And we have a client who's been, as of October 1st, will be 1 year that they've been re-upping in our unit. It makes it easy for them to have one price that they pay and for it to be all-inclusive. And so we work our numbers within that price. We know what our expenses are, and we know how much what we're seeking to make on each unit per month. So we'll make it easy for them. And it's also easy for us because it's just one simple invoice or one simple line item. It makes it easy for us and makes it easy for them.
So your $1,800, that would include rent, that would include Wi-Fi, that would include insurance, that would include all your expenses, everything that you pay a month to basically that unit in operations. Now, do you go, since you're long-term, this is a great question. So when you're long-term, do you go in once a week and clean it for them, or do they clean it themselves? How does that work?
We have a little of both. Like we have one unit where we go in twice a month and clean it because it's a part of their particular contract. We have some people that we spot check every other month. And but we do maintain our rooms. Like even when people check out, we go in and touch up the rooms. Like if the paint is off or if there's smudges, we'll go in and we'll touch them up prior to the next customer so that they always look the same when people come. If something is wrong, we'll take it out. If a towel has a smudge on it, it's gone. But we do clean the rooms. We also we are very attentive to maintenance requests because currently, from the time that we started at the beginning of 2020 to now, on Airbnb and on Google, every review that we've had has been a 5-star review. We had about 25 to 27 reviews on Airbnb. Those were all 5 stars. We have 5 or 6 on Google as of right now. Those are all 5 stars. And even when we have issues, we respond so quickly and in such a customer-friendly way that we still get a 5-star review. So we're hoping we can continue to maintain that, and part of that is the cleanliness of the rooms.
So obviously another, so many golden nuggets today that you've thrown out, Anton, but obviously in the short-term rental business or in that space, having 5-star reviews is crucial.
Yeah.
And obviously the way you've set your business model up, you and Mary have set your business model up, you're very attentive to the client. You mentioned early on that you treat them like family. I love the little touch. You might find a picture online or something from LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, and then have it printed and out for them. Oh my gosh, talk about winning that customer over as soon as they walk in the door.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool stuff. We got some good questions coming in. We've got a few minutes left here to answer them. Let's go up here real quick. So yes, I think Celeste, he did answer that question. They do maintain or restock toiletries and coffees and creamers during the stay. You don't make the clients do it, correct, Anton? You take care of that for them while they're there.
Yeah, and as far as the linens and stuff, we do supply linens, and we will exchange linens at the customer's request. But we have, they do have all the units have a full washer, a fully equipped washer and dryer, front load washer and dryer. We're only working with currently we're only working with newer apartment buildings that have granite and all these other things. So it just makes it comfortable and clean for our tenants.
So how do you handle, and again, you may not even had to deal with this since the beginning of 2020 because of the clientele you get, but how do you handle charges for damages, things like that, security deposits?
Yeah. So we're actually implementing a new system where there will be a standard security deposit that is implemented up front. We're also doing implementing a new contracting system or a new contract that we're going to be doing with our clients. But yeah, so we really haven't had to deal with that except for one time. We did have a client who had some issues He had some health issues, and because of his health issues, he just wasn't able to take care of the property like we would like. So we billed the client, and they, while they were still there, and they paid for the damages. But again, it's only happened one time. But just for security's sake, for our business, we are going to be implementing a more stringent, for lack of a better word, from our side, security deposit feature. And also, as taught in the classes, a part of the income that we get is set aside for having to fix stuff. We're aware that we are running a property business and that there are things that are going to need to be replaced, taken care of. So a part of the money that comes in every month is set aside as a buffer for those things.
That's awesome. Very good. Well, let's see, one more question here. Let's see what we got here. I saw a couple more pop in here. Awesome questions, by the way, guys. Do you have any accommodations for comfort animals and things like that, like service animals?
Yeah, so service animals can never be denied by law. But we do, this particular unit, the one that you're looking at is the Hive, is a pet-friendly unit. And there are restrictions by the apartment complexes themselves on what types of pets, what size of pets are allowed, and we do have our own restrictions. We don't currently allow cats, but we do allow dogs up to 50 pounds, and you can have up to 2 dogs in our units that are pet friendly. All of our units are not pet friendly. This one is.
So you basically you definitely follow what the landlord, whatever they dictate or whatever their rules are. You just follow those rules, correct?
Correct. Like in this particular place, you have to, if someone is bringing a pet, the client has to submit the shop records for the animal, and they also have to submit pictures of the animal, and then that has to be turned into the apartment complex. And then there is an additional fee if you do have a pet, because the apartment complex charges an additional fee, and we do pass that on to the customer.
Right. That's perfect. How about background checks and things like that? Normally, an Airbnb or VRBO would take care of everything. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah. So currently, we're using a new system called Hemlane, which does our background checks for us. We pay a monthly fee. But one good thing is not only do they do the background checks and do all the credit information, and also the apartment complexes, since we're doing long-term stays, the apartment complexes require a background check also. So we have like a double background check, but it's just a part of the service. But another great thing about Hemlane is that you don't have to, you don't pay that 3% fee. And this is something that's new to us. Like when we do our credit card transactions, when somebody pays their monthly rent, there's a 3%, a 2.9 to 3% fee that is charged to us. With Hemlane, there is no fee. It's just a monthly fee. So it actually ends up saving its money to use their services for banking transactions and for background checks.
Awesome. Very good. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour. Again, guys, I mentioned earlier, if you would like to learn more about our community, about the training and a lot of the stuff that Anton has been talking about today, we do have a live business introduction right after this at 12 o'clock, starting about 10 minutes. It's a different link, so whoever invited you out, get back to them. If you are already a part of our national community of investors, you guys can find it on the calendar and get signed up for that and get that link. It's a great hour and a half introduction to our community, and just a lot more in depth on a lot of subjects. So it would be great to attend that. Anton, you've done an incredible job today.
Thank you.
Love your unit, but I'm kind of sad. I think I heard you say you got the B apartment. You got that booked all the way to the first of the year.
That's correct. Yeah, all the way through all the way January.
So you're not going to have anything available around regionals, huh?
Well, it depends. We are starting a new unit, but I have a feeling that it will be booked because
Sure it
we continue to get inquiries for long-term stays.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Great job, Anton. Everybody absolutely loves Mary's work. Man, Mary's got quite, I mean, does she have an interior decorating background or she's just got a special touch for this?
No, she's just artistic and creative. She's just really good with colors and design. She always has been, and she just, took naturally to it from the very beginning.
Yeah, I really like Yaz's comment earlier. I don't know if you saw it in the chat room. She typed in that this is like the Ritz-Carlton of short-term rentals.
Oh, wow.
So
We appreciate that.
that's 5-star, definitely. Could you type in the chat room what that service is that you're using, that you're paying that monthly service for the background checks and all
Yeah.
that? Could you put that in the chat room for everybody?
Yes.
That'd be great. We don't mind doing that. Again, guys, as we wrap up today, like anything else, I mean, you need to have professional assistance. You need to have an attorney. You need to have a lawyer. You need to check your city codes and what you can and can't do with short-term rentals. Anton talked about they really focus on units that allow corporate leasing because, if a unit, if an apartment complex or an area allows corporate leasing, then that's a good sign. But always check with your local ordinances and all that when it comes to Airbnb or short-term rental or anything like that, because it really varies. I mean, you can live in an area like, I imagine DC is probably different than Philadelphia, and that's or Baltimore. They're so close together, but they're going to vary. So got to check all that out, guys. Anton went ahead and typed in the chat room. If you guys want to take a picture of that, a screenshot of that in the chat room, the service that he uses to help him with his background checks and all that, and kind of dive into that and learn more about that. We can't wait to have you out in 90 days or so and see your next units. And as you guys evolve, I missed one question earlier because I was wondering too. Now, is this your first short-term rental or how many do you have?
This is Mary's, one. We currently have 3, but we're going to be doing a 4th and a 5th planned for the beginning of next year. Our goal is to get to 8 to 10 by the end of next year, and then again also including doing a new construction, doing a test new construction, and some long-term buy and holds.
Awesome. Well, Anton, great job. I miss seeing Mary. And maybe next time when we have you guys out and to feature your next deal, maybe Mary could join us too as well. Not that you're not important or anything.
No, she's the beauty. She's the beauty.
Well, she's not only the beauty, but man, does she have some skill sets. I'll tell you what, it's you guys are doing amazing things. I'm so glad you're a part of the community. I'm so glad that we know each other. I've learned a lot from you today. I hope everybody else has. Get over to that business introduction. It starts in 5 minutes, you guys. You'll learn more about why Anton and Mary and myself and Sue, we decided to get involved in this community. I mean, I would not be where I'm at today without this community. And I'm sure you could say the same thing, Anton.
Definitely.
Well, you guys have a blessed weekend. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to you for next Saturday's live Zoom property tour.
Have a great one.
Take care.